What to do if you find your partner's OnlyFans or Tinder profile. Newsweek put a story out about this, and they have put the story on here, and they even put a little video out there for the people that are going to look at. If you're looking on the video right now, you can actually see what they're saying. It's a quick little reminder of what they're talking about. We're going to go into this right now. Let me go ahead and pull up the story. So they say that research suggests that 1 in 4 dating app users are logging in to cheat. So it's understandable if you assume the worst. Spotting your partner on Tinder doesn't always mean they're searching for a side piece. Okay, who wrote this story? Sophie Lloyd. Okay, I want to read that one more time. And this is also referring to OnlyFans as well. Okay, this is a funny story. I'm highlighting this right now in the video. Spotting your partner on Tinder doesn't always mean they're searching for a side piece, though. An OnlyFans account doesn't have to spell the end of your relationship either, but it's time the two of you had a talk. Now, listen, the first part about Tinder, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you want to make a point to say, okay, if you end up having a profile on Tinder, you didn't take it down yet, fess up to it, admit it, and hope that the person's not going to break up with you. And number 2, you should go ahead and take those profiles down, deactivate them, whatever it is. You never know if things are going to go work out well, but you know what? You just make the point. I mean, if you're going to be with somebody, yeah, you need to go ahead and worry about that and see what happens. Searching for a side piece. Yeah. So if there's somebody's on Tinder, they're looking to replace you, or they are looking to cheat. Sorry, it's just the way it is. We're not going to sugarcoat this. That's just the way it is. So really what I want to focus on is the OnlyFans part. This is what's being said. Now, OnlyFans is a different story. It's like you have to treat it like this. If you know that your partner is looking to go ahead and be seen by other people in a sexual light, most likely, it could become a public persona, and there are people that are also following them and asking them to do things on OnlyFans, whatever it might be, photos, videos, whatever it might be. The story says here, according to online dating coach Perry Schneider, it's understandable if you feel betrayed or devastated, but relationships best function with communication and honesty. Consider your options and how you want to move forward. Confiding in a friend can help you offload some of your feelings so you can think more clearly. No. You don't need it. Listen, especially if it's a girl talking to a girlfriend, you're telling me that the girlfriend doesn't want to make sure that you go single because she might be jealous of the fact that you're with somebody? Are you sure that's not the case? I would think it is. I wouldn't go to a friend to confide in this kind of thing or any kind of advice. This is where you just need to realize it can be pretty much cutthroat. You can be pretty much very decisive without having to go through too much. You should confront. Absolutely. See if there is an explanation to this. If it's a good enough explanation. Plus, if you're at this point where communication and honesty have not been a part of your relationship in the first place, then I don't know what to tell you. That's a mistake. And you should have figured it out long before. But anyways, here we are. And this story here, they talk about how finding an OnlyFans account is somewhat different. Your reaction will largely depend on how you feel about your partner paying for explicit content and how much you're engaging with creators. Some people consider it cheating, others do not. You know what it is? If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody that could be on OnlyFans, what you want to do is make it that you can be in an open relationship. This is like being in an open relationship. And the truth is, I mean, if it was me, if I know that person's not going to interact physically with them, fair game. What is it to me about denying a woman or a man, right, the chance to go and make an income? It's a job. In some cases, it is just a job. It's a chance to go ahead and make some income and make something of themselves. So why, if you need to go and put that over their head, and that's a problem to you, then you need to get out. There is no negotiating. There is no, reconciling on all this. You just need to realize it's not going to happen. You might as well just get out of it altogether. And then there's the point that says, okay, it looks bad, but there are a number of reasons why your partner might have popped on a dating app. Perhaps they deleted it, but not their account. If so, no big deal. Let them know you came across their profile. Ask them to deactivate it. Yeah. Yeah. And just, if you feel like it, I would just say too, whatever you need to do so that you don't have any more skepticism, because the most important thing you don't want to have is you don't want to feel like you need to also just watch your back or watch your shoulder because you feel like there's something else that's going to make you suspect or you're going to feel suspicious. If you're going to start feeling suspicious, get out of there. Now, they also said there could be a fake account, could be rare to your identity, could be stolen by a catfish if you're not a model. But maybe they're on dating sites because the validation of being wanted with no intention of engaging. This isn't so harmless. They may not be playing to cheat, but they're still signaling to the world that they're available. That's the same thing as social media, putting out thirst traps, things like that. Look, you got to make sure that if they're not getting the validation from you, that's a problem on your end. This is where communication honesty needs to be from the get-go. This story right here, I'm sorry, I got to debunk right now because Sophie's wrong. You need to make sure that you have that on lock from the get-go and that you never lose the track of validating or endorsing or making that person feel special. That's a constant thing. You don't slow down on it. You don't get complacent. You need to stay on top of it. Look, there's a reason why I can say this, and I'm a single guy. You know why? Because if I was going to be with somebody, if I was going to be with another woman, if I want a woman in my life, I want to make sure that I give everything to her. And I want to make sure that I am always interested in making her feel good about herself, providing, protecting, and being the right kind of guy that I was from the get-go, that I should not change who I am for any reason. And that's even the best relationships is you don't change who you are. And if there is any change, you communicate it honestly with your mate. That's what you should do. If it is an OnlyFans account and you feel paying for adult content as a deal breaker, you need to ask some questions. Is the account active or does it date from you before your relationship? By the way, you need to keep an eye on that. Some girls and pretty girls out there, they probably have OnlyFans accounts. Remember, during the pandemic, there were millions of girls that opened up OnlyFans accounts. Now, they might have some that are not active, so keep that in mind too. And there are guys that did the same thing, so keep that in mind too. Schneider says that understanding what your partner gets from OnlyFans can only determine how much you move forward. Quote, it depends on how open the partners are with each other and their shared sexuality. I think it is possible for them to understand what it is their partner is seeking through their subscription. It's best to be upfront and honest with your partner about what you are and are not comfortable with. Yeah, you put the rules out after you initially start a relationship. Once the dating, getting to know each other kind of thing kind of phases out, whenever that's supposed to be, because I don't know what that is. But once you know you're at that point, yeah, the rules need to be laid out. You need to understand this is how things are. Not boundaries, not just understandings. It's not so much rules, it's understandings that you should have. And that's what I think this should be here. Now, also the question about what do you think if you think they're lying? Well, if you think they're lying, they probably are. I don't know if I would really feel like, something like this would be a complete misunderstanding. So they talk about, quote, make sure to give your partner the space to explain for themselves and do your best not to jump to conclusions. Well, yeah, if you're trying to sustain, don't just jump right in, just ask the questions. And also, it's, for guys, it really doesn't matter to be pissed off. You don't need to give out that feminine energy and get all mad and upset and just, because that's what the girl's looking for if you're going to do that. If they are cheating on you, if they are lying to you, don't exert that kind of energy. They don't deserve it. Just say, okay, you're going to go on and do that. I'm going to go on and do this. Don't give them the satisfaction. Guys, don't do it. Don't do it. Tempting as it might be to create a fake dating profile and conduct a loyalty test, this is a bad idea. Yeah, if you're going to go to this part, then the person. You can't trust them anymore. That's when you get out. You don't, and you know what? You might have friends that will tell you, and they might try to convince you not to do it, but you know what? You're not going to listen to them. When this gets to this point, you'll realize you're going too far. If the trust has gone, by the way, if you feel like you can't trust already, by the time you start getting suspicious, skeptical, then get out then. Don't go through all this right here. I'm going to say 95% of the time, if you see somebody with a Tinder or OnlyFans account, you know what? They might be open to somebody else, or they're always looking at better options than you. That's the way it is. So the expert advice they talk about is the determinant of your relationship is toxic and how to free yourself. So they go into a story and they talk about this as well. And they say here, make sure that video doesn't play. They talk about the fact that see yourself clearly. If you're getting in a toxic relationship, you need to get out of it. Mindful self-acceptance is the key to having healing feelings of unworthiness and shame that are keeping you stuck and feeling helpless in your current toxic relationship. Number 2, get help from a friend. But you don't want to deal with a friend that's going to try to blame you for what's going on. You want somebody that's completely objective, that doesn't have a skin in the game. If you want to just really feel like that and just realize that the toxicity, it's finding a way to, you're going to have to get out of a situation that you're already stuck into. You're going to have to find a way to get yourself out of it and just know it's going to hurt badly. Okay. It's like taking a stitch off from a wound that has not healed yet. You're going to have to just rip that thing off and go. And then you're going to have to find a way to let that wound heal. You need to find a way to go ahead and work through all that stuff that's going on. Then they say consult a therapist, but my thing is make sure you don't find a therapist that is going to try to blame you or is going to try to go and tell you that you need to change your behavior. Because for some young girls and guys, they don't know any better about what they did, what their choices are. If you're older, it's a different story. But if you're a younger person, under 30, let's say, you have to realize that what I talked about in the previous video about psychopathy and knowing why high school girls or people that are more of a feminine nature in high school, why they choose somebody more masculine who's a rule breaker or a troublemaker, well, that goes and that applies right there because that's already toxic from the get-go. So if you're going to get into this and you need to go ahead and break up and it's going to be unpleasant, you want to make sure you have somebody to help you work your way through it. But most importantly, you're going to realize there's going to be some things about you that are going to stick because of what happened to that relationship. And just realize you're going to have it stick to you and you work your way with it. You're not going to get yourself rid of it. It's going to be there. It's like a stain. It's going to be on you. But what you don't want to do is put yourself at a point where you need to go ahead and, feel like that you need to degrade yourself from who you are. You're still the same person. You just deal with something that kind of afflicted you. You work your way through and you go forward and get yourself healthy and ready for the next relationship that comes by. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'll talk to you next time.